Hey, welcome. Does the whole idea of self-improvement just feel huge? Like this giant mountain you're supposed to climb for the rest of your life? Well, today, we're going to shrink that mountain down to a single, tiny step. We're going to look at 8 super powerful principles you can literally start in the next 2 minutes. Let's do this. So, does that phrase, self-improvement, just sound like one more thing on your already overflowing to-do list? Yeah, if you're nodding right now, you are definitely not alone. It's so easy to feel overwhelmed by it all, but we're about to completely flip the script on that feeling. And our secret weapon for this is something called the 2-minute rule. The idea is so simple, but so powerful. Any big goal, any new habit you want to build can be shrunk down into a tiny little version that you can do in under 2 minutes. This isn't about getting the whole thing done at once. It's about making it so easy to start that you can't say no. It's all about building momentum. So where do we start? Well, we start right at the foundation, fueling your body and your mind. You're about to see how these tiny little changes to your physical habits can have this massive ripple effect on your energy, your focus, and even your mood. Okay, principle number 1, it could not be any simpler. Drink more water. And I know, we've all heard the 8 glasses a day thing a million times. But seriously, it's such a basic habit that most of us just don't do. And it's one of the easiest, best things we can do for ourselves. So why is this one little thing so important? Well, because pretty much every single function in your body depends on water. So many of us are walking around slightly dehydrated all day, and we blame feeling tired or getting a headache on something else entirely. Just think of it this way. Staying hydrated is a direct pipeline to having more energy and a clearer head. And this brings us to a really cool psychological hack we can use to make this habit stick. It's called the availability bias. Basically, your brain is wired to take the path of least resistance. It's going to use whatever is easiest and right in front of it. So if there's a glass of water right there on your desk and a soda is all the way in the kitchen, you're way more likely to just grab the water. We can actually design our environment to help us win. And here's exactly how you put that bias to work. This is your 2-minute action. Don't just get a tiny cup. Go find a big glass or a water bottle, fill it all the way up, and just put it right next to you. Keep it in your line of sight all day long. That's it. You've just made water the most available option. All right, building on that idea of fuel, let's talk about principle number 2, eat whole foods. Now, this is not about some crazy restrictive diet. It's just a simple rule of thumb. The less stuff on the ingredients list, the better it probably is for you. This comparison here really says it all, doesn't it? Whole foods, fruits, veggies, nuts, eggs, they give you real sustained energy. But processed foods, often packed with chemicals you can't even pronounce, they tend to just leave you feeling sluggish and kind of unproductive. The goal here is fuel, not just filler. And you don't need to completely overhaul your diet overnight. Here's that simple 2-minute action. Just look at whatever you're about to eat next. Can you swap just one processed thing for one whole food? Maybe trade the bag of chips for an apple, or the soda for that water we just talked about. That one little swap is the beginning. Okay, so our bodies are fueled. Let's switch gears and focus on our minds. This next chunk of principles is all about expanding your perspective and growing your mind, all using that same 2-minute approach. Principle number 3 is a total mindset game changer. Practicing daily gratitude. And this isn't just some fluffy, think positive advice. It's about actively rewiring your brain to notice the good stuff that is already all around you. Study after study shows that people who practice gratitude are just more resilient. They're better at reaching their goals. A gratitude practice doesn't magically make challenges disappear, but it does help you see all the good things you have going for you, which builds this stronger, more positive mindset for the journey. So how does this actually work in your brain? Well, it taps into a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS for short. Think of the RAS as your brain's personal search filter. When you intentionally focus on things you're grateful for, you're basically telling that filter, hey, go find more of this. What you focus on, you find. It's that simple. And here is the simple 2-minute ritual to make this a reality. Put a journal or a piece of paper by your bed, and every single night before you go to sleep, just write down one thing from your day that you are grateful for. It feels so small, but over time, that tiny act builds an incredibly powerful foundation of positivity. All right, principle 4 is all about feeding your mind. Pick up a book. In a world of just endless scrolling, reading is such a powerful way to cut down on screen time and learn something new. Now, the goal isn't to read a whole book tonight. Your 2-minute action is just to get the ball rolling. Just text a friend for a book recommendation and add it to your Amazon cart or your library list. Done. And in that same spirit, we have Principle 5, listen to a TED Talk. They are an incredible resource for these concentrated shots of knowledge and inspiration, and they're usually under 20 minutes. Again, your 2-minute action isn't to watch one right now. It's just to set yourself up for later. Just open up YouTube, search for a topic you're curious about, and add one interesting talk to your watch later list. Okay, for our final section, we're gonna zoom out a little. We've talked about fueling your body and your mind. Now let's talk about how you connect with the world. These last few principles are all about improving your relationships, both with other people and, really importantly, with yourself. Principle number 6. Now, this one can be tough, but wow, is it powerful. Forgive someone. The key thing to get here is that forgiveness isn't about saying what they did was okay. It's about freeing yourself. Holding on to a grudge is like carrying a heavy bag of rocks around all day. It's just a constant source of stress. Your 2-minute action isn't even to make a phone call. It's simply to decide, in your own head, that you're ready to put that bag down. Principle number 7 is a great reminder that we don't grow in a vacuum. Join a supportive group. Finding your people is easier today than it has ever been. So your 2-minute action, open up Meetup or Facebook, search for a group that's into something you're into, could be anything, hiking, coding, board games, and just click join. Connecting with other people is such a powerful motivator. And finally, principle number 8 is one that almost all of us are terrible at. Congratulate yourself. Real self-improvement isn't about beating yourself up all the time. It's about recognizing your own progress. So when you do one of these little 2-minute actions, take another 10 seconds to just acknowledge it. Give yourself a little mental pat on the back. That positive reinforcement is the fuel that keeps you going. So there you have it. We've gone through 8 different principles, from drinking water to forgiving someone. But the single most important factor for success isn't which one of these you decide to start with, it's the one thing that ties them all together: consistency. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Small, consistent actions, they compound over time. Each little 2-minute task is like casting a vote for the person that you want to become. One vote might not seem like a big deal, but you keep casting them day after day, and they add up to create real visible change. And that brings us to the final and honestly the most important step. This isn't about trying to do all 8 of these things at once. It's just about proving to yourself that you can start. So I'll leave you with this one question. What single 2-minute action will you take today?